You blame other people. You blame circumstances. You blame luck. But the truth is far more disturbing. The saboteur destroying your life sleeps in the same bed as you, and you spend your entire life pretending it doesn't exist. Today, we're going to talk about the invisible force that governs your worst decisions. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst who mapped the forgotten territories of the human mind, discovered something society prefers to ignore. Inside every one of us, there is a locked basement. Down there, we store everything that shames us, everything we deny being, everything our social mask cannot reveal. He called it the shadow, and it is not just an abstract theory. It is the most destructive force in your life. The shadow is the collection of everything you have repressed: unexpressed anger, denied envy, forbidden desire, ancestral fears, and the more you ignore it, the more power it gains. Not power over you. It gains you. Have you ever wondered why the people who preach morality the loudest are so often caught in the worst scandals? Why those who condemn infidelity are the first to betray? Why the most spiritual individuals often carry the darkest shadows of greed and manipulation? The answer is simple. The shadow grows in exact proportion to repression. The more you deny being capable of something, the more that force accumulates in the underground of your consciousness. And it always finds a way out. Think about that moment when you exploded at someone over something trivial. It wasn't about the dirty plate. It wasn't about the delay. It was years of swallowed anger, searching for any crack to escape. Or that self-sabotaging decision. You knew you were destroying yourself, yet you couldn't stop. Because it wasn't you in control. It was the shadow, punishing you for refusing to see it. The executive who works 80 hours a week, claiming responsibility, is often running from the emptiness waiting at home. His shadow carries a fear of intimacy he never confronted. The person who harshly criticizes others for being lazy or weak secretly envies their freedom. Their shadow hides a forbidden desire to rest, to fail, to be human. The relationship you sabotage again and again, always finding flaws in your partner, it's not about them. It's your shadow blocking the vulnerability real love requires. Jung did not invent the concept of the shadow by accident. He observed a pattern. The traits we hate most in others are almost always parts of ourselves we refuse to see. He called this projection a primitive defense mechanism. Instead of facing what is uncomfortable within you, you cast it outward onto others. The world becomes a mirror of your repressed contents. But here is the paradox. You cannot eliminate the shadow. It is not the enemy. It is an integral part of who you are. Trying to destroy it is like trying to rip your shadow off the ground. The harder you struggle, the more energy you waste. Jung proposed something radical: integration. Not repression, not denial, not spiritual exorcism. Integration. To recognize, to dialogue, to absorb, to make conscious what was unconscious. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. These words dismantle thousands of years of philosophy that promised transcendence through denial. True transformation does not come from being better. It comes from being whole, and wholeness means embracing the monster you locked in the basement. The medieval alchemists already understood this. They spoke of nigredo, the blackening, the descent into inner chaos, as an essential stage of transformation. You cannot turn lead into gold without first dissolving the lead. In Greek tragedy, the Furies pursued Orestes not to destroy him, but to force him to confront his actions. Only when he stopped running did they transform into the Eumenides, the benevolent ones. The message is clear. What you run from becomes your executioner. What you embrace becomes your ally. So how do you do this? How do you confront something you've avoided your entire life? First exercise: identify your projections. Write down the 3 traits that irritate you most in other people. Be specific: arrogance, victimhood, emotional coldness. Now the difficult part. Ask yourself, with absolute honesty, where these traits live in you. Not in the obvious way. The shadow is clever. If you despise arrogance in others, your shadow may carry wounded pride or a repressed desire to be admired. This will hurt. Accept the pain. It is the price of awareness. Second exercise: write a letter to your shadow. Sit in silence, with pen and paper, not a keyboard. This must be visceral. Begin like this: I know you exist. I see you when. Then fill in the behaviors you don't understand in yourself. The outbursts, the sabotages, the irrational fears. Now reverse it. Let the shadow respond. Right from its point of view. What would it say? What unmet need is it trying to communicate? You will be surprised. The shadow is not a demon. It is a wounded child that was never heard. Third exercise. Find healthy ways to express what was forbidden. If your shadow carries repressed anger, don't explode on the people you love. Hit a punching bag. Write letters you'll never send. Turn rage into creation. If it carries envy, don't deny it. Investigate it. What does that envy reveal about the life you never lived? Use it as a compass, not a poison. If it carries repressed sexual desire, don't condemn it. Explore it consciously, responsibly, and honestly. Taboo feeds the shadow. Transparency integrates it. But be careful. Integration is not indiscriminate release. It's not now I'll be authentic and hurt everyone. Awareness comes with responsibility. You recognize the destructive impulse, but you do not blindly obey it. You translate it. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the guardian of the treasures you buried alongside the horrors. Repressed creativity, denied passion, wild strength domesticated too early. Your relationships fail because you cannot fully love another human being if you refuse to accept parts of yourself. Your success is sabotaged because the shadow will not allow you to receive what you secretly believe you don't deserve. But when you descend into the basement, when you turn on the light, when you look the monster in the eyes, you discover it was only waiting to be seen, waiting to be understood, waiting, finally, to belong. True power does not come from being perfect. It comes from being whole. And wholeness means embracing both the light you display and the darkness you hide. The question is not whether you have a shadow. You do. The question is, who is in control? You or it? Go down into the basement. You may be surprised by what you find there.